Hey, hello. Let's welcome Pete and RDJ.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
How are you doing?
Good, I'm very well. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you. And I want to say, I saw it was a rough cut of the movie, but it is easily the best Spider-Man movie and a great movie.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thanks a lot.
And we were all knocked out by it.
Thank you so much.
Have you guys seen the movie yet?
I saw it about a month ago.
You did? And what did you think?
You know, when you revise for an exam and you feel like you crushed it, but the longer you wait for the result, the more you think you kind of ruined it. Hey, he's a British, by the way. He seems some test or yeah, test or something. Okay.
Thank God you brought your translator.
Exactly, yes. Thanks, Pop. But yeah, so walking into screening, I was like, this is going to be awful. I'm going to hate it, and leaving, I was over the moon.
You were? Great.
Yeah, I loved it. Okay, okay.
So, you're not overly critical of yourself and your performance and all that stuff.
No, I loved it.
Robert, you have not seen it yet?
I have personally yet to see it. When can I? You will see it when I'm ready for you to see it, Robert. Alright, just take a minute. He is the new blood. Get used to it.
Robin, how much are you involved in casting Tom in this movie? I would assume that there's some kind of that you play some kind of role in that.
Oh, yeah. Well, when we were doing Civil War was when right at the beginning of that they were casting, and so they brought in all the finalists for the exam. Yes, the exam that and Tom nailed it. I mean, what I had to do. They were like, great, isn't he? I was like, yeah, he is.
And that was it.
3 words.
Nice.
Yeah,
Did they say he's great, isn't he? About any of other guys that they brought in?
the everybody was good, and then there was just this other element of like you saw it and I was there.
Yeah, it is like the Spider-Man that I read about in the comics books when I was like 8 years old. The the Spider-Man that you played in this movie.
The Spider-Man Homecoming, yeah, coming home to the OG.
I never went to homecoming, so that I didn't really relate to. I was left. I was at home crying during homecoming.
What do you call homecoming over across the pond? Yeah, we call it prom.
You call it prom? What do you call prom?
That was the whole thing. We halfway through shooting the movie, I was like, by the way, what's homecoming?
Really?
Yeah, I had no. Oh, we don't do that. Our proms are very different though.
In what way?
Well, they serve booze at the prom.
They do?
Yeah, because we are rating.
We have to drink ours in the parking lot before we get in.
Exactly. That was half the fun. Yeah, my prom was a disaster.
Oh, I bet it was. You have got a bunch of 18 years old drunk and throwing up on each other. Yeah. Did you know about like what American schools are like? Because you have to play Peter Parker, who is a student, a high school student.
Yeah, I think that was probably the most daunting part of taking on this character. So, as a joke, I suggested to Marvel that I should go to high school undercover, and it was completely a joke. Yeah, Marvel took it completely serious. I guess they didn't get my British sarcasm.
Yeah, they do that.
And yeah, so the next thing I know, I was like, I had a backpack with a pencil case on my way to Bronx School of Science. Oh, bye.
They let you go actual class.
Yes, yeah. I went to school with a fake name and a fake accent.
Did you have a fake mother drop you off at?
Yeah, no. They brought Marisa Tomei in just for that weekend and Bronx School of Science in the School for a Genius Kid.
Genius kids, right?
And I'm no genius.
You're not?
No, I even the teachers didn't know that I was not a real student. So they would bring me up to the front of the class and be like, "What do you think, new kid?" I'm like, I have no idea what you are talking about. So it was very embarrassing.
You're like the worst knock there is. Like you're like a very bad knock. Did they ever figure out that it was you? Like when the movie came out, or did you ever tell them that it was you?
Well, I had one funny experience. I was sat in the back of a classroom next to a quite pretty girl, and eventually she was like, "So, dude, what's your deal, man?" I was like, "Well, do you want to know my secret?" She's like, "Okay." So I am actually Spider-Man. She was like, dude, like, no, seriously, you are not a Spider-Man. You are nuts. I was like, no, seriously, I'm actually an actor. I'm British and I'm playing Spider-Man. And she didn't believe me
Of course, she didn't believe you. That's a ridiculous story.
because Civil War wasn't out yet.
Yes.
But the fact you are allowed to just suddenly go to Bronx Science in the middle of the year with no explanation, that was believable.
Yeah, that was indicates we have got a problem with our public education system. Okay, let's take a short break and join you soon.